This is part 2 of Corrupt, a Kaya Chisaki X-Reader fanfiction by... It's not going to happen. I'm never going to figure out how to pronounce her name. Again, I'm going to probably record 3-4 episodes in one day, and then have you guys correct me on how to pronounce everything. So, prepare to be upset with me over everything being pronounced wrong. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Let's begin. A few days had passed since you'd gone drinking at the club, and as per usual, you were caught up in the mounds of schoolwork. You contemplated inviting Luna to hang over so that you could take a break and watch some sappy rom-coms, but she was busy fighting with Raikou again, which probably meant that she wasn't in the best mood to start. Really, you were just looking for excuses to stop studying. You let out a lofty sigh, your pencil falling flat atop the ruled notebook. You just weren't in the right headspace to focus right now. Taking a small break and getting something to eat might help. The kitchen was a bit of a mess. You made a mental note to clean it later, but you'd done the groceries not too long ago, so the fridge was pretty stacked. You weren't necessarily an amazing chef, but you enjoyed cooking. Being able to create something of your own and reap the reward afterwards, it always brought a smile to your lips. The dish turned out good, It always brought a smile to your lips when the dish turned out good, especially when others got a taste as well. Humming contentedly, you picked out all the ingredients you needed for your dish and tidied up the space so that you'd have enough legroom. Then you got to work. Your stomach was already grumbling, so you were glad you'd picked out a recipe that didn't take too long to make. Thanks for the food, you mumbled to yourself, closing your eyes and bobbing your head once. You'd wrapped everything up fairly quickly, and you were now free to dig in. You blew onto your fork full of food, making the steam whip around, just as you were about to take a bite. Package delivery, you groaned, clicking your fork down and standing up in a hurry. The delivery man had begun knocking obnoxiously now, as if you hadn't heard him the first time around. "Coming, I'm coming," you cried out, rushing to the door. You brushed strands of your colored hair back and moved to open the door. Then you blinked. Not only because you were sure of the fact that you hadn't ordered a single package as of late, but the man standing in front of you looked odd. For starters, he didn't seem to be dressed in regular post-delivery uniform. Well, not that you were sure exactly what they were meant to look like, but he was very clearly different from the rest. There was his clothing, yes, but then there was also the fact that he was wearing a dust mask, like the tall, dark-haired male you'd met at the club. Except this man had white hair, not black. "For you, miss, your name?" He extended out the small, wrapped parcel and placed it in your palms. You shuddered a bit. You should definitely tell him it wasn't meant for you, right? You began fidgeting with the package in your hand. "I'm sorry, but I think there's been some sort of mistake. I didn't order anything." "That's fine. There's been no mistake." His eyes glimmered slightly. "This is for you." Just like that, he'd already began walking away. Now you were evadedly sweat-dropping. He hadn't even asked you to sign for anything, and it was clear that he wasn't just some typical delivery man. God, were you holding a bomb or some shit? You thought of tossing it away, chucking it out the window, but then you realized just how literally that would backfire on you. No, You were too scared to do anything but cradle it gently in between your palms, terrified that the smallest of movements would end your life where you stood. Breathing raggedly, you moved towards the couch. If it really was a bomb, then you were probably already fucked, since the damn thing must have had some sort of timer. But whatever it was, nothing would happen if you just unwrapped it and took a look, right? It didn't even feel all that heavy in your palms. Actually, it was rather light. Tears prickled at the corner of your eyes, and you mentally cursed yourself for being so damn curious and naive. If it was something that could kill you, you just hoped it looked cool. At least you'd get to see something interesting before you died. Your fingers moved carefully and nimbly, making quick work of the parcel paper. It wasn't long before you were staring at a small, white box with glossy texture. You'd run your finger over it warily, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Holding your breath, you opened up one end of the box, carefully reaching into pull out whatever object it concealed. Oh, it was the only thing you could think to say as your fingers pulled out what lay inside the box. A necklace. And not just any necklace. A motherfucking diamond necklace. You yelped this time, for the reason that horrified you in other ways. Just how much money had someone blown on this thing? You paled at the thought. Then you paled even further, remembering how assured the delivery man at the door had been. He said your name, without a doubt. This necklace was meant for you. You had to blink a few times, wondering if this was some sort of practical joke. If so, they'd definitely gone to great extents to baffle you. And these were real diamonds, that much you could tell. Someone had actually blown a couple months' salary on this thing. Ever so carefully, you placed the necklace down on your lap. You almost felt as if you weren't worth such an incredibly expensive thing. Whoever had sent this to you probably didn't realize you were a college student with loads of debt. Actually, who had sent this to you? In all your time, you'd never been intimate with someone who apparently had this much money. And you certainly didn't recall striking up a relationship with someone as of late. The thought made your stomach churn, in spite of the twinkling diamond staring up at you. You glanced back towards the glossy white box the necklace had come from. You pulled out the necklace in such a hurry you hadn't stopped to check if there was anything else inside. Tentatively, you shook the box, and a small letter soon tumbled out. You swallowed thickly, raising it up to eye level. I hope you enjoy your present, dear, your name. Just one line, written neatly in bold lettering. Once again, your name was used, but the person hadn't bothered to sign off with a name of their own. You suppose this was by design. He or she didn't want you to know who they were. This is probably one of the most fucked up things to happen to me, you noted aloud. Though you'd, of course, gotten a diamond A diamond... Okay, hold on. Having trouble. Of course, you'd... Okay. Of course, gotten... I'm tired. Let me try this again. Though you'd, of course, gotten a diamond necklace for free. But you got the feeling that one way or another, you would be paying for it. You looked at your bottom lip, lifting the necklace in your hands. What kind of person could blow money so shamelessly without even bothering to reveal their identity? Had the two of you ever even properly met before? You didn't know, but you got the feeling that even if you did, it wouldn't make you feel much better. It was clear now that someone was watching you, and had found out exactly where you lived. A secret admirer or a stalker, call it what you will. You'd never had one of those before. It didn't bode well. We're going to try and do 2 chapters in one video. That way I can stop with 2 videos. That way this is all over soon. Chapter 3, Watchful Gaze. The gifts continued, each growing more lavish than the last. You were somehow flattered and horrified at the same time. You considered pawning them off to make some money to pay off your student loans. But if this person really was watching you, it went without saying they wouldn't take too kindly to you tossing away their gifts. You felt both scared and exhilarated, but you knew you were playing an incredibly dangerous game. Whoa, you got another one? Your name? Raikou was staring at you, jaw unhinged, cool blue eyes ranking over the rubbery and crested gold ring on your finger. You smiled sheepishly, pulling your finger back. I get them nearly every day, you said simply, earning another deranged look from your friend. It makes me feel weird, for sure, but I think they want me to wear these things. I mean, it'd be a waste if I didn't, right? But geez, aren't you getting wrapped up in some crazy shit? I'm scared just watching you. You smiled wistfully. Yep, truth be scared. I read ahead of myself. Truth be told, I'm scared too. I can tell you that they're watching me. I mean, they were able to get my address somehow. So I know they've been mapping out my route and where I've gone. Holy shit. But it's because of that, you went on, that I have to act calmly. The fact that this benefactor of mine has so much money leads me to believe that there's someone with a lot of power and authority. Going to the cops could backfire on me if they found out. They might even kill me. I don't know. Raikou set down his cup of coffee, staring back at you in disbelief. So you know all that, but you're still fine with this? Like I said, you sighed, taking a sip of your own warm beverage. There's not much I can do. So far, it's just been gifts, which are harmless and actually pretty nice. They've never revealed themselves to me or made any mention of meeting up face to face. I'm okay for now, but I'm in a tricky spot. I want to act carefully so I'm not to anger them. If things start to actually get dangerous, then of course I have no choice but to go to the police. He grimaced. Still, I don't know. It's good that you're being smart about this, but if I were you, I'd probably be shitting my pants. Having a stalker, I don't know. I'd be scared as hell, is all I'm saying. You rolled your thumb over the ring by your knuckle. It was smooth to the touch, and fiery, and the fiery red hues glistened back in your orbs? I'm going to say it's a certain, your colored eyes, but I wouldn't know. Such a beautiful, expensive thing. You wondered why your admirer even thought you were worth it, really. What did they even like about you, assuming you'd never met before? Your looks? Your body? Or maybe you had met before, and you just couldn't place them. I'll be careful, you told Raikou with a smile. Don't worry, no matter who it is, I won't allow them to manipulate me. Was at the door? No? Okay. He nodded his head and sighed. You flashed another glance towards the jewelry resting atop your finger. So long as they were just spoiling you with gifts, So long as they were just spoiling you with gifts, all was well. So long as they didn't want anything more of you. Overhaul. No, can't. I gotta take a break. Hold on. Wait. I gotta catch myself. Overhaul, a voice called out. You're needed back in the meeting room. Some scrub forgot to clean the walls properly. Chisaki blinked dully, his gloved fingers drumming at the table. If not for Mimic's call, he would have surely zoned out. It wasn't because of boredom or the alarming stack of paperwork before him, which was essentially never ending. but later his thoughts had just been elsewhere. Lately, his thoughts had just been elsewhere. It was disconcerting to him. Really. Noticing how much time he spent thinking of you, he didn't know how he'd gotten to this point. Fix it yourself. Chisaki cut back dryly. I'm busy in here. Mimic's tiny dwarven frame waddled out of sight quickly enough. The man was left alone, staring both at the unfinished paperwork and the darkened screen of his computer. He was incredibly busy, that much he knew, but he just couldn't focus, not like this, when his mind was swarming with thoughts that he couldn't control. Chisaki let out a low, guttural growl from the back of his throat. Fuck it all, he had been working long enough for today. He earned his break. His gloved fingers moved expertly across the keyboard, finishing out the program and opening it up. Though it took a moment to start, and his brow twitched in annoyance, finally he could heave a sigh of relief. Control, Crow Cam 1, open. He clicked on it, and it was almost criminal how quickly his stress seemed to melt away. Though his lackey had done a good job of depositing the gifts outside your apartment door at the time he specified, it'd been difficult for him to get an insider's look as to what exactly went on in your home. So far, the only option that hadn't amused any not gonna happen. From you was the fake artificial crow that occasionally positioned itself outside your windowsill. It only worked when the curtains weren't drawn, however. Fortunately, this was one of those days. Chisaki stared at the screen of his computer, watching your movements through the camera lens in the fake crow's eye. He had a full view of the living room from here. You could see could see you bustling around and tidying up little areas as you went along. He let out a hum of approval. Your organization and cleanliness had made you even more desirable. You appeared to be smiling, and Chisaki had noticed that you did smile often, almost always in fact. He couldn't understand what you could possibly have to be so happy about, but he'd long since decided that it suited you. That small, somewhat timid smile that rested upon your lips, the very same one you greeted him with when he'd met you outside that slovenly club a week prior. Oh, how filthy that place had been. Its only saving grace was that he'd gotten the chance to meet you. His lidded amber eyes were almost burning a hole into the computer screen. That was how intensely he was studying your every move, every dip in your expression. He noted with great satisfaction that you were wearing the diamond necklace he sent you at the very start. It seemed as though you wore pretty much all his gifts, or on alternating days. The thought of this made his chest swell in ways he'd never before imagined. He wondered what exactly had captivated him to the extent that it had. Perhaps it was your beauty. Yes, you were beautiful. From those hair-colored locks of hair that so perfectly framed your face, past your colored eyes, and down your supple form. But that was just beauty, and beauty alone was fickle? Fickle? I don't know. And often worth nothing. Fecal. Yep, fecal and often worth nothing. Chisaki realized it had to have been more than just physical attraction. He liked the sound of your voice and the way you composed yourself. You were clever. He realized that by studying you all the time. You were clever, calm, and patient. He never seen you use your quirk before, and he desperately hoped that you didn't have one. Wait, what? If so, then you truly were perfect. Okay, got it. Immaculate pure? Yeah? There was still little he knew as of now, but he yearned to know more. His golden eyes watched as you picked up an apple, rinsed it off, and took a bite. A small piece lingered on your glossy lips. You licked it off, dabbing at your chin with your finger, and chuckled softly to yourself. Your finger adjusted the necklace dangling past your collarbone, and Chisaki felt a point inside his body throb with longing. He had to have you. I think that's where I'm gonna end today. My voice is obviously having a problem, because, well, who the hell knows why. I decided to do a video, all day. My voice was fine today. What happened just now? I don't know. You probably can't hear it, and it's just me, Again, if any of you know how to pronounce her name, I want to give her credit. I'm giving her credit. She's an amazing writer. There are obviously typos and stuff. I don't think there was any in this chapter. I think there was one in the last one. I don't remember. I'm tired. Even though it's not that late. For me, at least. Yeah. So, goodbye.